Is like sit by guard. Remember, through here, not resistance. If I push, he moves. The only thing he's not going to do is he's not going to fall down. So through here, I'm going to go ahead and release my legs. Okay. So now, as I'm going to start to go in, we're going to start to collect our pivot first. So I'm going to start to make my pivot. I can bring my foot in, climb up onto that shoulder, and then go over the head. So keep your hands towards the middle of your partner. So again, I'm going to be in, no hands. We can start to collect the hip. This one slides up and bites into the back of the shoulder. So now I'm trying to pull him down with my legs. Okay? Now notice through here, in order to do that, my hips are kind of going this way a little bit. I want to twist them so that by the time my leg goes over the top, my hips are square. They're not still cocked off to the side. Okay? So again, we go from closed guard, put that foot on the hip, and pinch that arm towards the inside. That knee wants pressure. Through here, as you lift up this leg, elevate your hips. Okay? Don't just put your foot like this. As I elevate, get your hips up. Now you see how I get a much deeper bite on Mike's back. Then when this leg comes up and over, this leg is holding me in place so that my hips can go over the top and connect onto his head. So the whole exercise is just with your feet. The feet alone is getting into a better position. Now again, it only works because your partner's being nice, putting their arms a little bit forward, not resisting, not trying to pull their elbows free. Okay? But take each piece. When we bring our foot up onto the hip, pinch that knee to the inside. You're gonna find no pinch, that elbow goes super loose. When you bring the other one up into the armpit, elevate your hips up as high as you can to get the back of your knee to connect to the armpit. Don't just bring your foot up. You'll be about mid-calf, and it's not going to work out very well either. And then we use that top leg to break it down, and then make our pivot. Right. Nothing's different, right? So when we're working and we're here, I'm playing with his arms. Okay? So foot on the hip. So this is here to collect. I'm pushing in that arm and starting to get his elbow to become a little bit more connected to me. Then when we look at, if I was doing a triangle, this leg would come over and make the lean, okay? And then I would lock. Since we're doing armbar through here, I'm collecting. We do the same thing. I'm just getting through the armpit instead of going into his neck. So when this leg comes up, okay, it goes up his body, and then that heel kicks over. So if he pulled his arm through right now, this would be our triangle. Nothing's changed. It's the same positioning, it's the same attack, it's the same intensity. The only difference is I'm hitting armbar, or I'm hitting the shoulder instead of the side of his neck. But everything's the same, okay? So when I got Mike here, so now we're going to go through a couple different grip variations. So the classic one is go under, collect the back of the tricep, pull. I want to get his elbow to cross my center line, okay? Because once I can make it cross the center of my body, now when I just pull him in, his arm now is in trouble. It's going to be very difficult for him if I grab his head here, pull your arm out. Okay? That's the reason for making that little pull. So we're going to do two grip variations. They both feed off of this. So the classic is I pull here and then I cross face. See, I'm already getting him to lean that way. Foot on the hip, make that pivot. Okay, same thing. The leg goes up into the back of the armpit, post on his head, and then leg up and over for your arm bar. Grip variation number two is I go here, I bring him down, and then I grab his head. So instead of cross facing this way, I pull him down this way. Same thing. Put my foot up onto his shoulder. Now through here, as I pull. So I'm taking his head, pulling it as this one goes over the shoulder, and then go for my arm bar. So it doesn't matter which side of the head that you want to grip. If you want to grab the back of the head this way, the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull his head so that I can feed it into the arm bar, or I'm going to cross face and go into the armbar from there. Otherwise, the grips are the same to begin. All right, let's get a couple sets of that. What's that? To kill the shoulder. Okay. The head is not the necessary piece. The head's just the easiest piece. Okay. You got a big old handle sitting over here. If I can connect to any of this, it shuts the shoulder down. That's what we're after. Okay. I can hunt for the shoulder. The shoulder is a target, but it's a smaller target and it's harder to control. That's why we go for the head. Okay. Because once I get the head and I pin the head down, how do you lift your shoulder without being able to lift your head? Hard to do. So that's why we go after the head as a primary, but at the same time, it's not necessary. I can go after the shoulder by itself and still get some of the same results. So if I'm here, and again, we're just gonna go real light, I come in, I make my pinch, this one comes up, okay, and I go after Mike. This one just goes on top of his shoulder. I can still get the same result, but it can be easier for Mike to pull his arm out, because if his shoulder will slip, then you can start finding your way out of that. So one of the things that we're going to do, and I do this quite often when guys try to do like rubber guard and things of that nature, is I know that he needs to climb and elevate, okay? And just like here, when we're doing our arm bar, the closer I can get his head and his shoulders to my hips, the more powerful I become. The more he can drive and push his shoulders and the like higher up into my body, it makes it even harder. So when you got like a lot of these guys, I'm not very flexible. So if I'm here and I break Mike down, okay, and I want to come in and I want to play some sort of rubber guard or the like, okay, I need him way down by my hips. Push forward. If he's all the way up here, not going to happen. My ability to get my leg up here is going to be even more difficult. So here's what we're going to do is Mike's going to put me into that shoulder lock arm bar. So over here, he comes over. Okay, right here, he's going to go on top of my shoulder. Okay, this is all that's necessary. But what we're going to do is through here, because this is how easy it can become to be able to ditch it, is we can start to move and walk our shoulders to go inside. So first I want to hit the arm bar. So through here, Mike's going to get his pivot. Go ahead. No, the shoulder lock. He's going to get up on top of that, and he's going to go after the arm. Okay? But through here, I'm going to push into his leg, and then as I push, I'm going to drive into him and bring my shoulder inside. This is also what I do. Pablo, you're a little bit more flexible on the rubber guard stuff. So again, if I'm down, usually have to be low, and they start trying to play rubber guard. Okay. So if I want to start to kill the position, okay, bring that nice and high. Go for it as deep as you can. Yep. Through here is I will take my shoulders. I will flare my shoulders and drive forward to get past that flexibility point. Okay. So that's what we're going to do with our partner on this one. The amount of triangle attempts was pretty significant, which was kind of cool. But the amount of triangle arm bars were dominant.
Yes.
Okay. And this is what we've been pushing quite a bit. When you go for the triangle, emphasize the arm bar significantly more powerful. Okay. Don't just go for the triangle and try to choke them, and then later go, my triangle's not working, now let me go for the arm bar. Emphasize the arm bar immediately as soon as you go in. Okay. The arm bar, when you look at a choke, okay, let's say a choke, I need to reach a threshold of, let's say, 75. But then I need to hold it for like 4 turns. An arm bar, I need to get over 100. I only need to get it there for 1 split second. I don't need to hold it for a long period of time. I just need a spike. That's it. Whereas a choke, I need to get it up to a certain level, and then I gotta hold it above that level. And every time it starts to dip under, it just adds more time on the back end. So anytime I can do a choke, and then like virtually every triangle's got a free arm bar. The arm bar is gonna be more effective. And then you're going to find people are going to start defending and escaping your chokes a lot less. So we're going to play the same thing. I'm just going to be here. Now remember what our pivot was. Foot on the hip, pinch the arm in. This leg came up through the armpit, and I try to touch my heel to my knee. Okay? So now, if this arm is gone, I'm going to bring this leg up, connect it to his neck, pivot, and try to make my heel touch my knee. What changed? Okay? Now through here, remember, we were locking the shoulder. Now, from here, I want to emphasize the arm bar. So what I'm going to do through here is I'm going to bring him down, and then I want to bring my leg over his head. Here's a really tight arm bar, but then that is a really tight triangle. Okay? Because when I make this big pivot of my hips, which is exactly what we did on the arm bar, I'm bringing my leg to get higher than his shoulder. If I stay low, okay, if I stay low right here, you can see where's his shoulder. So you'll see a lot of people lock up their triangles right here. Okay, my hips are still like this. When you get used to locking your triangle here, where am I at? When I was going to do my arm bar earlier, I was going to lock on top of the shoulder. Okay, so now when I'm locking my triangle, where am I at? I'm on top of the shoulder, the same way I wanted to be for the arm bar. But one of the easiest ways to get your hips to get used to this motion is to practice your arm bar and then come back to it. So when I first lock him up, I'm here. This, just like in the other one, this is my push leg. This is the one that breaks him down. This leg now, remember, we're going to flatten our back out. And then there goes my leg over his head. Now this one, you do cross your ankles. Here's your arm bar. Now when I come back, when this one comes off, I shoot to lock. Then, after you've done the arm bar to triangle, arm bar to triangle, arm bar to triangle, now we do that same pivot, but instead of going over the head, we just lock the shoulder straight to the triangle. And you're going to find your triangles are going to be a lot tighter, a lot cleaner. You're going to be on top of that shoulder, just like we do with the shoulder lock arm bar. And then we still have one more arm bar to go, which is right from the triangle itself. Okay? But the first one I want to do is I want you throwing over the head. I want you getting used to your legs. Okay? And notice how when I make the transition, it's my hips that are swinging. It's not my leg. It's not my leg trying to make it through here. Push him down, okay? And watch. It's my hips swinging out to go over. Pull him in with your legs and shoot to make your connection.